on a quiet, echoing hospital parking garage at midnight, where footsteps usually disappear into empty concrete. A biker named Tommy expected nothing more than a peaceful smoke and a moment alone. But fate had other plans, because tucked behind a concrete pillar on level 3 sat an 11-year-old boy with a hospital bracelet, a shaved head, and a bottle of sleeping pills clutched in his trembling hands. And the first words out of his mouth froze Tommy's entire world. "I'm 43 pounds. How many pills will it take to not wake up?" Tommy had seen death before, in Vietnam, in crashes, in the eyes of dying friends. But nothing prepared him for this child, sitting alone, legs pulled to his chest, trying to be brave enough to end his own life. The boy tried to hide the pills, but they slipped from his fingers, scattering across the cold concrete floor. He scrambled desperately to collect them, tears falling silently. "Please," he whispered, "don't tell anyone. I'll give you anything." And then he held out a Ziploc bag of Pokemon cards. "My dad said these are worth a lot. If I give them to you, will you help me not wake up?" Tommy crouched slowly, trying not to cry. "What's your name, son?" "Ethan. Ethan Marsh." His voice shook like a leaf in a storm. He was wearing Ninja Turtle pajamas, the kind kids wear when they're supposed to feel safe. But Ethan didn't feel safe. He felt done. He explained everything in broken whispers. The leukemia that returned for the 3rd time, the brutal transplant that nearly killed him, the doctors giving him a 20% chance, his mother crying every night when she thought he was asleep, his father working 3 jobs to pay for treatments he didn't believe would work. And Ethan ended with a sentence that shattered Tommy's heart. "They're suffering because of me, and I just want the pain to stop." Tommy took a slow breath. He had a choice: call security immediately or gamble everything on a conversation. "Ethan," he said softly, "give me 1 hour. Just one. If you still want to give up after that, I won't stop you." Ethan blinked through tears. 1 hour? 1 hour, Tommy repeated. The boy hesitated, then slowly set the bottle down. Tommy pulled out his phone and sent a single text. "Emergency. Level 3. Bring everyone." Ethan asked nervously, "What did you do?" Tommy smiled sadly. "Called my family." And moments later, the entire garage shook. The deep rumble of 15 Harleys rolled in like thunder through the concrete tunnels. The air vibrated as huge figures stepped off their bikes. Leather vests, scars, tattoos, helmets dangling from gloved fingers. Ethan's eyes widened in fear. "Are they going to hurt me?" Tommy knelt beside him. "No, son. They're here to tell you why you don't get to quit." The bikers formed a protective circle around Ethan, sitting on the concrete floor beside him, bringing their stories into the dim glow of the parking lights. Big Mike, 6 feet 5 inches, built like a mountain, spoke first. "I had a brain tumor. Doctor said 3 months. I lived because these men refused to let me die." Another biker stepped forward, quiet and calm, with one arm missing. "Lost us in Iraq. Came home broken. Tried to take my own life. Tommy dragged me back. Taught me how to ride with one arm." One by one, 15 men told Ethan the darkest parts of their lives: cancer, war wounds, accidents, depression, addiction, loss. Every single one had stood where Ethan was sitting now. Every single one had lived. "Why are you telling me this?" Ethan whispered. Tommy answered, "Because you're trying to fight alone. Nobody wins alone." Then Tommy reached into his saddlebag and pulled out something small, a leather biker vest, kid-sized, a single patch. "Prospect." Ethan stared at it. "But I'm dying." "Maybe," Tommy said gently. "Maybe not. But either way, you're not doing it alone anymore." Right then, footsteps echoed. Ethan's mother ran into the garage, breathless, terrified. When she saw the pills, she collapsed beside her son, sobbing. "I'm sorry, Mom," Ethan whispered. "I just didn't want you to hurt anymore." She held him tight, shaking. Tommy stepped forward. "Ma'am, we aren't going anywhere. If you'll let us, we'll help him fight." She nodded through tears. The fight begins. The next morning, 15 motorcycles lined up outside the children's cancer wing. Nurses whispered about the gentle gang that now lived in the hospital. Every chemo session, two bikers at his side. Every night terror, someone reading him comics. When Ethan lost his hair, every biker shaved their head with him. When he cried, they cried, too. The bond grew deeper than anyone expected. 3 months later, Ethan crashed. High fever, weak pulse. Doctors whispered the worst. The bikers filled the chapel. Tough men on their knees, praying like little boys. Tommy sat by the bed, reading Pokemon card descriptions, Ethan's favorite sound. And slowly, Ethan woke. The fever broke. 6 months later, remission. He survived. The return to level 3. Ethan, now strong enough to walk again, returned to the parking garage with Tommy. Why here? Tommy asked. Ethan smiled softly. Because this is where I try to die, but it's also where you gave me a reason to live. He handed Tommy the Pokemon cards. Except Charizard. Why keep that one? Tommy teased. Ethan grinned. Because it reminds me of that night, when 15 dragons landed in a parking garage to protect me. Today, Ethan is 13. Cancer-free. Rides on the back of Tommy's Harley to club meetings. And he always says, death isn't the scariest thing. Facing it alone is. The bikers always answer the same way. In this family, nobody dies alone.